So here we are. We're gonna bring you a Dead by Daylight killer tier list. So we're gonna go through this one pretty quick. We're not really gonna go too much in depth with this one. We're gonna go more in depth and give reasonings and go a lot farther once we get the update for the alien and the xenomorph to be launched into the game. Kind of see the changes and everything that happens at that patch. And once we do that, we're gonna do another tier list, just kind of update everything. But starting off, we're gonna start at the bottom here. Trapper has to go down there. He's the most basic and just completely RNG all the way through. We got I personally, this is all based on my preferences of killers that I've played with and what I've played against. I have about 700 hours as a killer and about 300-400 hours as a survivor. So I'm definitely more killer focused. So I do have a little bit of experience with some of these guys. Obviously, I'm not a top tier player. Um, Now, those are really the only two that I find really down there. I guess I'll put Skull Merchant down there as well. Just she's just zoning. That's all she does. Is just zone. That's all. That's all she has going for her. I'll put we'll put Michael up there in B tier. Um, just because like he does ramp up later on in the game. We're just gonna go through it left to right. Artist, I'm gonna put Artist up in the S tier just because she does have a lot of multi-playing abilities. She can multitask very well and kind of control the map, control chases, stop loops. White, obvious choice into the S tier just because of his ability. His add-ons are insane. Nurse, another S tier. You already know she's the best killer in the game. Completely nullifies any loop. If you know how to play Nurse at a high level, you're gonna get a 4K every single time. Let's go with Leatherface. We're gonna put Leatherface in a B tier. I just find him kind of boring. Cenobite's gonna go into an A tier. Very good design. Love the abilities. Clown. Um, Very basic. I'm gonna actually put him down at a D tier. Just a mouse click. That's all he is. Uh, Death Slinger we'll put up an A tier. He has some pretty cool playability. So does Demigorgon with loops. They both kind of do the same thing on the loops. You have either a long loop that you can just shorten up with Death Slinger, and you just nullify all those long passageways with Demigorgon. Doctor is great with add-ons. Without add-ons, I would put him in the low B tier, but with the add-ons, I would put him in the A tier. Dredge again, it's very RNG, so you got to put him in B tier. If you get a good map, he could be an A to an S killer, very low tier S. But I think you can make him into a great killer. But there's so much RNG, you have to have a good lockers and everything like that. Executioner is definitely an easy A tier. Freddy, I'm gonna put down in C because everything revolves around getting him into sleep and into that dream state. And if you don't get him in that dream state, if people can kind of work around it, kind of isolate away from you and get out of it, your power is just literally rendered useless. Ghostface, best stealth killer in the game, in my opinion. Pops up out of nowhere, has great play potential early game and going into the late game. Hag, we'll put Hag down in C tier. I never see her anymore. She got nerfed. Um, me personally, I never see her ever played. Huntress is an easy A tier. The hatchet throws is a high skill ceiling in the game. And she's fundamentally a pretty interesting killer to play as. Legion, uh, all you do is just run around. Me personally, I hate it. I don't think it's a good killer at all. Nemesis, I think, is pretty well balanced overall. Pretty mediocre. Oni, I would put into a high A tier. I would put him over here. Obviously, Huntress is going to be above that. Um, we'll do this here. Spirit, another S tier killer by far. Probably number 3 on the list. I would put those in my top 4 right there, and then obviously Huntress would be number 5. On Ryu, I think with the buffs to her Condemned and her ability with the tapes and everything, great play potential now. With her teleport being a lot easier to use, and then not as much of a cooldown, way more killer player friendly, and not as punishing. So her skill ceiling or skill floor rose up quite a bit, and I think her skill ceiling is pretty high once you get into the add-ons and everything. The knight, a lot of people are gonna hate me for this one. I think the knight is actually a very good killer. Unlike the skull merchant, where all that the skull merchant does is just zone off everything, the knight actually has a lot of play potential with his guards being able to stop the loops, mid chase, be able to patrol while in a chase, and not just focus on just holding 3 gens. He's not really a 3 gen killer like the skull merchant is. He still has a very high 3 gen potential, but a lot of these killers do. Oni is a very good 3 gen rotation. Light, the nurse, the artist. So a lot of these killers have a very high 3 gen potential. So does Wesker. Wesker has a 3 gen potential. He, he can be very good. I don't really care to play as him. Um, Singularity is insane at patrolling while staying in a chase because of all the cameras that they can put up. Twins, we're gonna put her in a C tier right now, just because of all the bugs that happen. If you can get through playing with all the bugs, great killer. Can be a very very good killer. But there's so many bugs going on with the twins that it just makes it just not enjoyable at all to play. Plague, we're gonna put. Mm, so like with corrupt intervention and everything, like her perks, her add-ons, it's a toss up between like either a high B tier or a very low A tier for me personally. Playing against her is just we'll put her in A. Just playing against her sucks to me, just because if you play against a good plague, they're gonna poison everything. They're gonna always toxify the gens, the hooks, and just keep on spewing all over the place and make it very hard to do anything without getting infected. Um, Now Wraith is very underrated. I think. I think at the very least, he's a high B tier killer. His cloaking with add-ons is insane. You can get a huge speed boost. You can get very fast uncloaking to be able to hit those survivors in the chase. So I think he has a very good skill ceiling. And then Artist is just boring to me. Artist is boring. He doesn't. I don't think he has a great art style. But that's the current tier list as of right now before the Xenomorph for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what you guys would change, what you guys thought of the tier list, and